Hey, welcome back to Keep Your Head Up Hockey, our special for the Western Conference predictions. It's all about the Western Conference this one, and we'll get this one started with. Might as well just give another shout out to Core Four. You guys are the best. Thanks so much for tuning into our shows and all the support. If you do watch the show, please smash that like button, share the show, tell a friend when you're watching playoff hockey. Talk about Keep Your Head Up Hockey and have them, join our Facebook group as well as join and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate that. Let's grow this show, make it bigger and better. Let's grow it a lot through the playoffs so that we can start next year with an absolute bang. But yeah, it is the playoffs. Best time of the year. Get excited. So pumped up for the Leaf game tonight. But I also am pumped up for a few of these Western conferences, boys. Let's start off with the champions last year. Kind of have to. The Golden Knights, they played really well in that final against Florida, but they got a tough matchup against Dallas coming up. We'll throw it over to Dylan Nose to hear what he has to say about Vegas and Dallas. Tell us briefly about what you think the matchup's going to be and your bold prediction on who's going to win.
I'm hoping I can stay up late every single night to watch a lot of these games because all these matchups are going to be unbelievable. And in my opinion, almost unpredictable. Even Vegas and Dallas, anyone can win this series, in my opinion. It can go either way. So I am expecting, with all my predictions in the Western Conference, that every single one of these series is going to go the distance. 6 or 7 games. When it comes to Vegas, well, they're the defending champs, right? They have something to prove, and they have something to hang on to. And they've also got Mark Stone coming back, so they did the old switcheroo with the cap, and they've got a lot of good talent on that team. So we'll see how Mark Stone can add to that. And they've got the Stanley Cup in their back pocket. It's theirs to lose. Aside from that, I had a thought about the Stanley Cup. Wouldn't it be awesome if the team that won the Stanley Cup, that the Stanley Cup stayed in their building for the entire season? Like every time the fans walked in, it was on display in the front of the building. The actual Stanley Cup was there. And then at the start of the playoffs, they take it and they put it back in the Hockey Hall of Fame or wherever the hell it goes. Anyways, that's just a little afterthought I had on this. But in terms of the series, it's going to be a battle. A couple of obviously great goaltending battles. Lots of offensive prowess on both teams. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to watch this one go the distance. I can't really predict who's going to win. I just know it's going to go the distance. It's going to be one of those lucky goals. It's going to be close. Every game is going to be close, and it's going to come down to the wire, and it's going to be a 1-0 game in the final.
What do you think about the Golden Knights and Dallas Stars matching up? That one starts on the 22nd, so still got a couple days until that one gets started. But what do you think about that series, J-Dub?
I think it's going to come down to the goaltending as well. Both teams have some star power up front. Eichel's going to be a key for Dallas or for Vegas. I find that I've watched a few of their games this year, and if he's not playing well, it's like he drags the team down. I'm not a big fan of Eichel. I find his attitude is definitely a game changer for the whole team. If he's on, the team plays well. If he's happy, the team plays well. If he's not happy, the team seems to feel it, and I don't like the way he carries himself a lot. He's got a kind of a pissy attitude. That's just what I see. That's my personal opinion. However, Mark Stone is like he's one of the best players in the NHL. He's one of the best two-way players. His takeaways are going to be a big thing. The Dallas is going to have a hard time fighting. He's another Bob Gainey like player. He can score, he can skate. He's not like super fast, but he's strong on his skates, and he's just a presence on the ice. So I think and then the goaltending is going to be a really big deal. I think that when you consider how Ottinger's been playing, he's got a lot of wins under his belt. as far as in comparison to the three goalies of Vegas, and I think that's going to be a big deciding factor. The goaltending and defensive play will probably be the big field thing there.
All right. How many games do you think, J-Dog?
I think it's going to go 7, and I hope every series goes 7 except for the Leaf series. I want these teams beating the crap out of each other.
The first round of the playoffs is always the most exciting. I personally think, and then the Stanley Cup final, of course, but I really think that the first round is the best hockey that we see all year. It's super exciting. I really am looking forward to this series. I really think that Dallas Stars are going to go all the way to the Stanley Cup final. They've got all those pieces. Jason Robertson's having a great year. He's got 80 points. 51 assists, 29 goals. He's going to lead this team all the way to the Stanley Cup finals. I think that Dallas has got some great goaltending. They've really had a fantastic year. Like Ottinger's, a great goaltender. He's got 35 wins this year with a save percentage of 905. So he's had a hell of a year. Then they've got a backup that can play as well. Wedgwood, he's got a save percentage of 899. So two goalies, that tandem that we were talking about all year that really can get it done. But on the other hand, the Golden Knights, Thompson and Hill have save percentages over 900 as well, even better than the Stars. Thompson 9.08 and Hill 9.09. So, definitely a goalie tandem. Whoever's hot's going to play. Definitely going to go game 7. I really predict that. I'm definitely predicting a overtime win, and it's going to go to the Stars. And I really think that Jason Robertson is going to be that MVP of that series, as well as the playoffs for Dallas. I really think they've got all the right pieces. Well, let's move on to another series, boys and girls. Let's talk about the Avalanche and Jets. The Jets have kind of cooled off last little bit. They're red hot there in the middle of the season, and then they kind of cooled off, and then they started getting hot again. I know that J-Dog just loves the Jets. And they've had a pretty good year. They really had, Mark Scheifele, 72 points, and Kyle Connor as well with 34 goals. They've had a pretty good year. Goaltending's been amazing. Hellebuyck, save percentage of 921. And even their backup, even though he's only played 23 or 25 games, he's got a save percentage of 927. So they've got the goaltending to support them. I'm actually going to call an upset in this series because everybody wants Colorado, right, to win the series. They really think that because of Nathan MacKinnon and what player he is. But I just don't think that Hellebuyck's going to let it happen. I think he's going to stand on the head, and they're going to beat them in 6. That's my prediction. Let's throw it over to Coach Nose. Coach, what do you think about Colorado and Winnipeg in the series that is going to start on the 21st?
Well, I mean, look at what the Jets just did to the Avalanche the other night. One of the last games of the series, they came out and absolutely punked them with I don't know what it was, 7-0 or something like that. That's got to be hugely embarrassing for a team like the Avalanche, who, if you were an alien from outer space and you showed up and you gave the team comparison to this extraterrestrial being and said, who do you think's the better team? Every single alien that would come from outer space would say that the Colorado Avalanche would win this series, win this game hands down every time. Look, the Jets stats are not that great. They're brutal. We thought they were going to be brutal at the beginning of the year. They find a way to win, and they've got more intangibles than any other team in this league. More stuff that you don't even know, that the biggest adjudicators, Corsi experts, whoever you want to call it, actuaries, all these mathematicians on the planet can't factor what the Jets have. And it's something that it's like mystical dust that they're able to win games. And of course, the one factor is certainly Connor Hellebuyck. So he can frustrate the hell out of a team like Colorado. We're Leaf lovers on this podcast. We both talk about the Leafs a lot. When you look at a team like Colorado, they are very similar to the Leafs in terms of how they play and style. And with that style of offensive juggernaut type hockey, you can easily frustrate a team like that. And the Jets are the one team that's going to play that type of game that's going to frustrate the hell out of you. They're like the men's league team that didn't win a fucking game all year and end up going to the finals and grind and scrape and claw their way through every single period and eke out a win and frustrate you on mistakes that are made. And I tend to believe you, Jamie, that Colorado may lose this series. And if you looked at it, you wouldn't think that. But I don't know. McKinnon's going to have to be the MVP candidate that he has slated to be this year in order to help his team overcome a very feisty and gritty and obnoxious Jets team that is basically like, I don't know. I kind of look at them like the Vegas Mighty Vegas Golden, I almost called them the Mighty Ducks, the Vegas Golden Knights in their inaugural season. That type of team where everybody counted them out, didn't think they were much able to do much of anything, able to do anything, and they go ahead and make it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. And a Jets team like this is very similar, could easily do this. So we'll see.
Well, how many games, brother? What are you going to say? How many games will the Jets eliminate Colorado win? Then we'll move on to J-Dub.
I think it's going to be one of those like 4-1s. I think we're going to see a huge upset here. It's going to be a huge upset.
Right.
Vegas is going to, Winnipeg's going to come out and shut them down, embarrass them.
I forgot to mention, we'll throw it over to J-Dog right after. Well, I forgot to mention Jets' last 5 games, they're 5-0. They beat Vancouver, Seattle, Colorado 7-0, Dallas 3-0, and Nashville 4-3. So they are playing really well. They're red hot moving in and ready for the playoffs. And Hellebuyck's playing his best hockey with 2 recent shutouts against Colorado and Dallas.
They're playing on bonus money. That's bonus money, Rick bonus money.
I know you're a big fan, J-Dog. You have been, tooting their horn all year. What do you think about the Winnipeg Jets going against the Colorado Avalanche?
Well, my big thing is it's always goaltending in the playoffs, and with Brosseau's save percentage is actually better than Hellebuyck's. So, like Hellebuyck's 921, 927 for Brosseau, and it's not very often that your backup goalie has a better percentage than your starting goalie, and you don't feel bad about putting any one of these 2 guys in the net. It doesn't matter who starts, as far as I'm concerned. Both these are the 2 best goalies in the NHL right now, as far as I'm concerned. Especially like tandem wise, obviously they are. And then like Grigorev's a good goalie. There's no question. He's very dynamic. I've only seen Annunen play, I think, twice all year, and I would say I was somewhat impressed. His percentage is actually higher as well, which is kind of odd that you don't see this very often. So it's kind of interesting to see. Intangibles is definitely going to be 3rd and 4th line. I think both teams have solid. They're solid all the way through. The speed of both teams is incredible. You look at your top players. A lot of top players in the league are not necessarily the fastest. It's different on both these teams. Scheifele's like lightning, and of course, Nate McKinnon is probably the most electrifying player in the NHL as far as I'm concerned. The speed, the aggression, the shot, the high speed thinking that goes on in that kid's head, and it's just incredible to watch. But I still think it's going to come down to the goaltending. And like Kyle Connor, is going to be definitely one of those guys that's they're going to count on. But Morrissey, also a guy that's definitely going to be an issue. He's got to play the way that he can play. He's got to play that Braden Point style hockey that they know he can play. He's been up and down this year in the way he's been playing. I think he was beat up a little bit, so I think that was it took him a while to get. He got injured there earlier in the year, and I think that he was a little bit. He just wasn't playing the way he should, and I think with these guys, the thing about Winnipeg is they're big, they're physical, and they're heavy. And Tyler Myers is going to be, I think, the difference maker as far as what Colorado does, and that kid has changed. He's not a kid anymore; he's a man. But that kid has changed the way he plays. When he was in Vancouver, he played soft. I didn't like the way he played for a guy that's 6'8" or whatever the hell he is, 6'8". I don't even remember anymore. But he is now vicious. People are like he's taken Byfuglien's place. When people come into their zone, your head better be on a swivel or he's taking it off. And I think that's going to be another intangible. The defense of Winnipeg is a lot more physical than the defense of Colorado. Colorado is going to get worn down in this series. I think that the physicality of Winnipeg is going to, they're just like the last game. They just physically dominated them. They outworked them, and Colorado just looked like a tired team. And coming into the playoffs looking like this, I'm sorry, you can't play that way against a team that has this type of goaltending and this type of defense. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the best combination in the NHL, defense and goaltending tandem.
Well, you heard it from J-Dog. J-Dog, how many games?
I still think it's going to go 7. There's just too much scoring prowess on Colorado to stop it. They're going to get a game where I think they're going to blow out Winnipeg. It'll be like a 5-1 or 5-2 type game. But I think that's going to be the only game that's going to be an issue for them. I think I still might go 7. Actually, you know what? I think it's actually going to be 6. Winnipeg and 6.
All right. Well, let's
fans of Winnipeg are going to be loving life. I can tell you that. They're going to be nuts. They're going to be drinking gasoline and getting coming through the doors all high off whatever substance they can gather up and waving those flags like a bunch of maniacs.
Yeah, it'll be insane. It really will be. Can't wait to watch that one. It's going to be a good one. Nashville and the Preds also start tomorrow. Vancouver Canucks also start tomorrow. Vancouver's had one hell of a year. I've got to give it to them. They really have surprised a lot of people. I wasn't so surprised, though. They added some really key pieces in the offseason and really came up with a great approach with hockey, with defense first, offense after. But they've got some great offense, though, and really have been stepping it up. They've had a couple recent losses, but just beat Edmonton 3-1 and Vegas 4-3. So really starting to play A-okay. My prediction in this is it's going to be a close one. Reason being, Saros, save percentage 906. The Preds have looked good recently as well. They've really started to play hot, and they've got 3 out of 5 wins in their last 5, or 3 out of 5 in their last 5 games. But really haven't had a lot of tough matchups. That's going to come to hurt them, I think, because they just played Pittsburgh, Columbus, Chicago, Winnipeg, and New Jersey, and they've lost, 2 of those last 5 matchups. I think that might come down to hurt them. Canucks, Demko's had a pretty good season, save percentage of 918. He's been their guy all year, and he has played really, really well. JT Miller had one hell of a year, 103 points, 66 assists. And Bozer right there as well. He had 40 goals. Then Quinn Hughes having a really great season as well. 75 assists, which is insane. He's got a 38-plus number. And then Josie, too, on the other side. And Philip Forsberg had some great years as well. Forsberg had 94 points, 48 goals, 46 assists. And then Josie had 62 assists this year with a plus average of 12. I really think that the better team, though, is Vancouver. They've got home ice, and when the Vancouver Canuck fans get pumped up, they absolutely do. They're very similar to a building like going into the Montreal Canadiens Bell Center. They're nasty fans. They love their team, and they love to support them, and I think that'll be a really loud building. I'm going to give it to the fans. The fans are going to win this series. Vancouver wants it more than Nashville. I'm going to say that Vancouver beats Nashville in 5, 4-1 series with 2 shutouts for Demko and 1 game that's going to be a massive blowout. It'll be the deciding game. It'll be game 5, and it'll be a 6-0 win for Vancouver, a statement game going into round 2. Let's throw it over to Coach Nose. What do you think about Vancouver Canucks and Nashville starting tomorrow?
The more I think about these Western series, I always thought they were going to be a battle, but I feel like I need to backpedal a little bit because I predicted the Jets and Colorado series to be like 4-1 or 4-2 for the Jets. And I'm thinking now with this Vancouver series, it's going to be around the same thing. Vancouver is just too powerful, too dominant. They have the best goalie in the league, probably going to win the Vezina Trophy in Thatcher Demko. 918 save percentage, 245 goals against average. The guy's unbelievable. He's been the biggest factor this year that has catapulted this Vancouver team into top spot, or at least top 3 in that Western Conference. They had an amazing start to the year with him playing lights out, and they've got some awesome players that are finally just doing what they were supposed to do in years past. So it's going to be a mayhem in Vancouver. They probably won't make it to the Stanley Cup final. They'll probably make it to the conference final. They're going to burn that goddamn city down again, unfortunately. Please don't do that. But Jesus Christ, it's been 14 years, so let's just tone it down a little bit, Vancouver. You're not going to win the cup this year, but you're going to do real well, and the future is very, very bright. One quick note with regard to Vancouver, and one quick note on Nashville, then I'm done. Brock Besser is day-to-day with an injury, so that'll be interesting if he plays. Luckily, they don't play until the 22nd, so chances are he'll be all right, but he is a big factor on that team, hugely important, both on the ice and in the dressing room. And UC Saros, a lot of people like to ring his bells, like to tickle his balls a little bit. Well, I mean, his numbers are good. He's probably carried the Nashville team so far this year. I'm surprised Nashville made the playoffs, to be honest. And UC Saros is not a very big goalie by goalie standards, especially in the NHL. So he's lightning fast. He's positionally really well. He's got everything. If he was a little bigger, he would be unbeatable. He would be shutouts. He would be, Ed Belfour or Marty Brodeur category of goaltending. But he's a little smaller, so you can find some openings over the shoulders. And with the shooting prowess of this Vancouver team, they're going to find some holes in this guy. And unfortunately, for the Nashville Predators and their fans, you're gone in the first round. Sorry.
How many games, brother?
Country music.
How many games do you think, buddy?
4-2.
4-2. All right, 6 games. And J-Dog, last final thoughts on Nashville and Vancouver starting on April 21st tomorrow. What are your thoughts there?
Goaltending. I think both teams have 2 of the best goalies in the league. They're both solid. They play very well under pressure. Demko is maybe the quietest goalie I've ever seen in my life. He doesn't move. There's like no movement. He's so he's so stoic. He's like watching a fucking giraffe. He's excuse my language. He's very little movement. There's very little emotion. He's just probably the most calm goalie I think I've ever seen. And Zadorov, I think as far as the defense is concerned, is going to be a big factor. He is a monster. And I think the last couple games, teams have been making mistakes by trying to get under his skin. If you watch the game the other night, somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they gave him a little bit of a slash. He gave it back. They end up rolling around on the ice, and in the penalty box, I can't remember who it was, but he apologized. Zadorov apologized for throwing him to the ice for him getting slashed. It was kind of funny. He didn't do it on purpose, but I think the slash went up cross-check went up the guy's arm and then hit him in the face. And he was all apologetic. It was hilarious. He didn't mind throwing him on the ice though and putting a little bit of a pounding on him, but it was pretty funny. They were all laughing and joking in the penalty box, so it was kind of fun to watch. I think though, if you get a little burr under his saddle, and I think that when you consider the star power that this team has up front, I think Vancouver is a little more consistent this year. Nashville's had their up and downs. I mean, Vancouver has too, but I just think coming down to goaltending and Brock Besser's going to be. I think he's going to be who he should be in this series, and I think that's going to make the difference.
All right, how many games?
I think it's going 7. Nashville's a hardworking, gritty team. They're kind of, you'd mentioned Vegas before when they came into the league. I think they're very similar to that. They're always been a hardworking team. So I think that's probably, I think it's going to be a major factor. And of course, their defensive core is super solid. And I think it's gonna really depend on how well the defense plays. The goaltending is going to be solid, but I think the defense is going to be the key. If they can stop Vancouver's offense, it's going to be the key to success for them.
All right, last but not least, we'll talk about the series that everybody wants to talk about. Everybody's, for some reason, is a Edmonton fan when it comes to the playoffs, but they always choke in the first round. That's my thoughts today, is really, will Edmonton get by a tough team like Los Angeles? I don't think so. I really, really don't. I think that Los Angeles is too deep, too experienced. They've got some great goaltending. They've got the scoring touch. They're a hardworking team. They're just going to outwork Edmonton and completely shock the NHL world. With players like Hyman and Connor McDavid and the likes of I can't remember his name now.
Draisaitl.
Help me out here. Yeah,
Draisaitl.
Yeah, Draisaitl. With the likes of them, you'd think that they dominate, right? But I really don't think so. I don't think that they've got the defensive support. They really just don't. They're kind of a team like the Leafs, but the Leafs have at least added those defensive prowess and toughness. And I really don't think that Edmonton has it. If they do, for some reason, get by LA, and I'm wrong, I really don't see them beating Vancouver. I just think that Vancouver is going to outwork them. They've got better defense. I really don't think that Edmonton's going to do it. I don't think that McDavid has enough heart and determination to actually win a Stanley Cup. Everybody says, oh, yeah, he's the best player to play the game. Yeah, in the regular season. That's my opinion. It really is. I just don't think that he has what it takes to lead a team to the playoffs. He is as boring as a toothpick. He does nothing off the ice. He just, he's all show and tell, and doesn't tell anything, doesn't support it, doesn't talk his game. I think that he'd be completely silent in the dressing room, and he wears a C. I don't think that he can lead a team such like, players like even Tavares. I think that Tavares would be much better in the dressing room. I don't like Edmonton for that reason. I think that they get knocked out, and I think that they get knocked out within 6 games. I really think that the Los Angeles Kings are just going to outwork them, period. Let's throw it over to J-Dog. J-Dog, I know that you like LA as well. They're facing off against the Edmonton Oilers in the first seed of the Western Conference. What do you think about this series?
Well, I think it comes down to the Toronto X factor in both teams. Zach Hyman is ex-Leaf, and Trevor Moore, ex-Leaf. I think these guys are actually the key to success for both teams. The goaltending is not good on either one of these teams. It's I mean, their save percentages are all right, don't get me wrong, but when you have this much for LA, they got a great defensive core, and for Edmonton, they've got obviously a lot of offense. So, it doesn't really matter how good your goal. Well, it matters how good your goaltending is, but when you have that solid a defense core and that solid of an offensive core, your team goals against average are going to be pretty good during the regular season. Everything changes come playoffs, and I believe that LA is Kempe is turned into the player he should be. Moore was never expected to be the player that he is, and he's good at both ends of the rink. And of course, Kopitar, I mean, he's a legend. He's been around. He's another. I keep bringing up Bob Gainey, but I hate referencing a really good Montreal player all the time. But that's the kind of play that wins you Stanley Cups. You got to play both ends of the rink. That's why I'm happy with the way Matthews has been playing this year. But when it comes to this matchup, I don't think that offense is going to be the issue. I think defense and goaltending is going to be the issue. And if LA plays the defensive game that they can, I think that they're going to probably be they're probably going to win this. I think in 5. I don't think it's going to be much of a series, to be honest with you.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Well, let's talk.
I don't think
5
it's going to be
games
much
is
of
what
a
he said.
series. 5 games in LA.
LA is going to
bold
beat Edmonton
prediction.
in 5 games.
Yeah.
Bold prediction. I love it. Love to hear it. We're going to throw it over to Dylan Jose on final thoughts for the Western Conference. Seed number 1, Edmonton Oilers, everybody's favorite team for some reason, against LA. What do you think is going to happen in the first series of the Western Conference, the big one? What do you think?
Yeah, everybody's horny about the Edmonton Oilers this year. They're saying McDavid's going to win his first ever Stanley Cup. That's the predict. They got to get past a lot of really good teams, including the LA Kings, who they've had their number all year round. They've won 3 out of 4 matchups, so the advantage is definitely with the Edmonton Oilers, with the Connor McDavid, Draisaitl, and 50-goal scorer Zach Hyman factor. It's going to be really hard for the LA Kings to shut down that offense over a 7-game series. They've also had the Kings number in the last 2 series. So I think LA is a team that was supposed to be a rebuilding team last year. They ended up making the playoffs and losing. And this year they've obviously avoided some kind of rebuild, and they are a very solid team. And they've got an all-star in Drew Doughty back on defense. They've got the slight advantage on defense. I think the goaltending is pretty much 1-for-1, but unfortunately the Oilers are just way too good offensively. You start giving them power plays, you start giving them these opportunities, home ice advantage, last change, all that stuff. It just compounds the problem. And unfortunately, LA is just not going to be able to stop the bleeding throughout a 5 or 6 game series. They might get 1 or 2 wins, but this is going to be an Oiler domination.
LA being one of the best teams in the league, though, in penalty kill, man, and I think that's why they're going to be one of the. I think it's going to be hard for Edmonton to get through that. If you can't score in the power play, 5-on-5 play, I think they're pretty close.
All right.
Yeah,
well, you heard it first.
I can see that. I tend to have to agree. I mean, I see the Winnipeg Jets playing like the LA Kings with a team of comparables that work well together. They have cohesion, whereas you've got teams like Edmonton, Toronto, teams with all these superstars where there's such a huge gap between the skill level that they don't play well as a team. So very much could go either way, but I guess I look forward to shooting the shit on the next show after the first couple of games of round 1 here, boys, and we'll do our playoff specials, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Woo! Yeah, get pumped. And
I feel like I got to go have a nap and wake up at 7:30 and just sleep the rest of the day so I can stay up all night.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's a big day too. Tomorrow is like 12:30 to 10. Like, I don't even know. I'm going to run out of, I don't know, my friends, girlfriend, whoever, whatever. Like, I'm gonna have no one left. I'm just gonna have you guys and hockey.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan. Well, if you've watched the last couple of shows, please make sure that you smash the like button when you watch a show. Share that show on your social media. Let's grow this group. Also, when you're watching playoff hockey, say, hey man, have you ever watched Keep Your Head Up Hockey? 3 guys that love to talk hockey and call it like it is and swear and get obnoxious and drink beers and vodka and have fun on the show. Get excited. I hope that you have some fun watching the playoffs with family and friends. That's what it's all about. And you know what? A big thank you for being a fan of Keep Your Head Up Hockey. Thanks for watching. As always, keep your head up. Go Leafs, go. Enjoy the playoffs, and we'll see you on our pregame shows for the Leafs moving forward, as well as a weekly show to recap what's going on in the NHL. Again, thanks again. Keep your head up. We'll see you next time.
Peace.